how I want my 40th to be. Loving those who love on you, no hard feelings.
And when you hold grudges, it's gonna make you a bitter old bitch. Oh.
Are you talking about Karen?
This season on the Real Housewives of Potomac.
It's time to turn up. It's time to turn up.
Welcome to the White House.
Jamal was engaged. Yes. How are you feeling about that?
How you doing? I'm sorry.
I love where we are.
Wendy, who would you?
Giselle.
Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the real of reality TV. Oh my gosh, I was expecting somewhat of this sort of reconciliation with Gizelle and Wendy because we know Robin was fired. And Candace decided that she was not coming back, at least for now. And now she's pregnant. She's focusing on herself and her family, growing, her family with her husband, Chris. And I'm happy for her. But, just seeing this trailer for the Real Housewives of Potomac and then thinking back to previous seasons prior to Wendy going off on Gizelle and Robin because of the accusations that they were making about her husband, Eddie, and the work that she had done to her body. And they were trying to make it like, oh, well, she did what she did to herself because his eyes were roaming. He was on social media liking up booty models, pictures, or whatever it was. I can't remember exactly what they were saying. But Wendy went off on Gizelle and Robin. Honestly, she really went off on Gizelle, and then Robin jumped in it, and she got the crossfire. And Wendy hasn't seen it for Gizelle ever since, but had been trying for, somewhat, not immediately, but after other seasons, trying to be a little bit cordial, but Gizelle refusing to really even say anything to her at all. This is just coming across as extremely fake to me. And I know reality TV ain't all real. It is somewhat scripted, and I've talked about this before, but I just am not feeling this at all. I'm not. Gizelle sitting there laughing with Wendy, and, Wendy's like, oh, our relationship wasn't hell. You didn't have a relationship. It was none to be spoken of. So to sit there and do the fakery with her, like, I would have preferred, if they wanted to try to make it somewhat real, to have them really have a real conversation, because as you can recall in just the last season, Gizelle was like, I don't want to have anything to do with her. I don't have anything to say to her. And now you're giggling up in her face, and Wendy's like, yeah, I would F Gizelle. What? Who are you and where is this coming from? But see, this is why I wanted to even talk about this, because it really makes me feel like those previous seasons, even going back to when Monique was on the show, which I don't care for her, and for her actions, not just because I just don't care for her, but I'm just saying, it just makes me feel like Wendy was always wanting to get that, just my personal opinion, wanting to get that validation, that light skin validation. And I've talked about this, I believe, before. I know I've talked about this at least one time before, where sometimes it's just a subconscious thing, because colorism is a real thing. It really is, whether people like Gizelle want to admit it or admit that they operate in it or that they benefit from it or not, that there are some women that have that little girl in them that is still reeling from the critiques, the comments, maybe being made fun of when they were a little girl, because it definitely, a lot of darker melanated women have that story of that happening to them when they were a child, even if it was just one time. And that stuff sticks with you because you see it as you're growing up. And I believe I did talk about this before, because it's just like coming up in my mind as I speak about this. It makes me feel like in some way Wendy was really, really hurt because she felt like she had a friend in Gizelle, this light-skinned, green-eyed, blonde, colored hair, because I don't believe her hair was really that color. But I'm just saying, woman, and then she flips. And so then you wanted to talk about the education that she doesn't have, the experience that she doesn't have, the husband that she doesn't have, instead of just operating in what you have anyway and being the confident, beautiful woman that you already are, and have no issue with you enhancing your beauty, because a lot of women do it. You have children, your body goes through changes, and you want to feel good about yourself. I don't have an issue with her doing the things that she did, but when Gizelle tried to make it about her doing it because her husband was probably being unfaithful, yeah, maybe you all are on the show together, you're co-workers, so you have to coexist. And now that Robin is no longer on the show, she's more willing to do that because she's trying to save her champagne flute because she ain't got nothing else going on in her life. Then I would make her work for that champagne-filled champagne flute. Not just, oh, where our, relationship was before, it wasn't hell, but now we're in such a good place and this is the way I want my 40th birthday to be. No, we're going to sit and we're going to really hash this out. We're going to sit and really hash this out on camera. Like, don't just come the next season with this fake BS about us being friends now, because it is not real. And so I don't even know that her and Candace were really friends at this point, or were they just allies coexisting on the show because we all we got. It just makes me kind of feel that way, because Gizelle definitely was using Nneka, the one season wonder, to try to be this catalyst against Wendy. I would remember all of that, and I would definitely make her work for this show that she wants to continue to be a part of. And production is kind of putting the flames to her feet a little bit to say, look, you got to work a little bit harder. So yeah, you do have to film with Wendy and you got to speak to her, but Wendy ain't making her work. And that's where my issue lies. I don't know. I wanted to talk about it, guys. We'll see what happens in the season, but I don't detect that there's going to be any friction between her and Wendy. And that's just not real to me. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.